Three. Well, welcome. I have Olive Brooke and Brian Phillips here from one of my favorite bands, Sparrows. These guys are just fantastic. They're touring all over, not touring, but they they don't stand still for a minute. They're all over the world, and lately in Morocco. Now they're back in Switzerland, and just constantly producing new music, creating new art, and it's hard to get a time to sit down with them because they're always moving. And I absolutely appreciate every moment with these guys because they're so much fun, and the interviews are some of the best. So, welcome to both of you.
I appreciate it.
All right, and all right. Well, let's talk about this album because Hey Adam, I wrote in my review, Hey Adam is definitely a game changer. All of their albums have been wonderful, and there's been some beautiful highlights on all of those albums. But this one just, from the moment it starts, hits you, and you're either with it or I don't think you could be against it, but it definitely draws you in. And part of that, I get a feeling, is that a lot of it came from that fantastic vacation in Morocco. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll jump deeper into the album. But tell us about that. It's one of the places I would love to go, but haven't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was actually we had planned to go to Morocco before. It was about a year before, I think, but it was in Corona time, so our flights were canceled. So we didn't actually make it to Morocco before. But then, with the new song on the album, Solitary, we were like, that was a pretty fitting background for the song. So that was what gave us the idea then to go to Morocco. So we booked our flights, and yeah, it was a very interesting country for us, right?
Yeah, it was the first time I think we spent serious time in a Muslim country. I mean, we were in Oman, but it was just like a day. So it was like so interesting. There's essentially just like men on the streets around. It's kind of like this thing. There's no alcohol around. It's just like a different feeling.
And we arrived on New Year's, and we thought, oh, New Year's is going to be like a big celebration,
whatever,
European style, but it was totally different.
No, yeah, we were looking for the fireworks.
Fireworks. So we had some other experiences.
Yeah, so we experienced the country in a very new way. So it was very fascinating, and of course we're also going to be there to film a music video. And in order for us to get to the place where we wanted to film the music video was an 8-hour drive, so we had to do that.
Yeah, it kind of fits for the desert, right? And so there is like a small kind of desert very close to Marrakesh where we landed, but we went there to check it out, and it wasn't exactly a desert. It's like
more like dirt,
like a fake desert.
Dirt hills.
So we said, we have the time. We're making this music video. Let's go for the full-on desert.
Need the dunes. You're looking for dunes. Yeah.
Online, and we saw that the Sahara Desert is there. So we said, let's go for it. So we just got our rental car and we hit the road and drove all the way.
On your own? No tour guide or anything?
Oh, no, we just went, and essentially, because we work with Airbnb, we saw one where the guy who had the Airbnb was actually like a Bedouin, and he had camels and he had dune buggies, and we thought, okay, it's a good idea. We took his place, and he actually was the best person that we could have.
He was so helpful.
Yeah, so helpful. He had a desert camp himself, like his own
tents in the
Sahara.
And they play their own music and make the meals and everything. So they do.
It was just, and he had camels and the whole thing. So we were able to utilize all these things for the music video, which was. And
you got a good breath of the culture. That's wonderful.
Yeah, the food
is. You experienced it as a Bedouin.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's living now in a house, but
he grew up as
a Bedouin
in the desert.
And so so it was quite good experience.
Yeah, even getting to know the people of the country. Like they're really special, actually, the people there. But in the beginning, when you don't know them, you're getting used to their culture. You see some things, and it's like, oh my God, that's so crazy. You wouldn't imagine from where we come from. So of course, it's like a great experience to get to know them. But then as soon as you start speaking to them, they actually are very nice people who are quite friendly. They really like to bring you in. And like, yeah, it was my favorite experience was with Mohammed when we got to his Riyadh and we met the guy, and he told us all about his experience there. He had even been abroad, but he came back to Morocco to go and help the people of his country because he has so much belief in them. And they're all like, "Why did you come back? There's the future is over there.
There's so much, yeah.
The future is with you here. We can do it, because he understands them. So it was very nice to see that someone really believing in their people.
So we filmed the music video, and then we spent a little bit of time kind of as we work and film. We also enjoy the culture and the experiences and the people and everything. So it was a good. But just so you know, the album was recorded a year before.
Oh,
we went to Morocco.
8 months before we went to Morocco, so that was already sort of done.
Okay. It felt like it had some influence. Well, definitely with Solitaire. We're gonna
Solitaire,
but
when I wrote the song, it was really essentially in that world, and that's what I was picturing. So it quite fits,
And you got to experience for real what it's like, and the pictures you guys posted up are fantastic. Really,
I think you're gonna like it. Very nice.
Yeah, we're working.
Yeah, it's almost.
Well, all right. So yeah, thank you for that. For those people that haven't gone, like you say, it's one of my, one of those destinations I want to get to someday. I was a Led Zeppelin fan for a long, long time, and Kashmir. And every time I hear Kashmir, it kind of takes me there, even though I've never been there. And then Marrakesh from, have you ever heard Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young? They sing a song about Marrakesh. It's a little different feel to it, but anyway. So yeah, it's always been something I've wanted to do, and you guys did it, and looks like you had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Talk about the evolution of Hey Adam, because I definitely, feel that. Well, from the song itself. Actually, let's before we jump there, we got to talk about that opener, Breaking In. Let's do that because I think Hey Adam is next. But Breaking In, and by the way, when you get a chance, please send me the lyrics because I hope I didn't misquote you guys. But
well, you one word here or there, but I think you got the great.
You created new lyrics.
Yeah, we were laughing at some of them.
It's not a problem. But you can see on our website, if I'm not mistaken.
I think on Spotify.
Spotify or our website, we have all the lyrics.
So
okay. All right. But tell us about that song. It's one of the best songs I think there's a lot of others, but this just really hit me the minute I heard it. And those of you that haven't heard this, they put it right up front, and it'll hit you.
This was actually a song that we had written in the studio. So we were recording, I think, the previous album, right?
Yeah.
It must have been the 8th album, Chariot. And so it was actually a friend of the producer that we were with. She came over because it was his childhood friend. And then Brian said, "Why don't we write a song with you?" She was like an open person which came over, and an adventurous one. So Brian was like, "Yeah, why don't we write a song with you?" So we started the song with her, and then maybe you can.
Yeah, I think when I'm with the person, then I can kind of feel something. I don't know, maybe I can feel what they're feeling, and then the story kind of comes out. Just as they're with us, as we're writing. So it was just this kind of thing, and we essentially only got the first verse with her, or while she was there, and then
But
you
I think
finish
the
it, and
concept
the
of
soul of the song was there, the
Yeah.
concept was there.
it's like someone who's a bit kind of trapped in their mind.
Yeah,
Like,
the idea is, I suppose, like in our minds, it's a whole world, and someone who's a little bit locked in their mind, for one reason or another, that like when I started writing, I said I'm kind of feeling breaking in, and she said,
wouldn't you be
wouldn't you
breaking
say
out?
breaking out?
Like it makes
You
more
know?
sense.
But I
Yeah.
saying breaking in is because you need to go inside.
Yeah, breaking in is like an internal thing. So that's why I wouldn't
Yeah.
be breaking out because it's inside of yourself.
Definitely.
Like you're
And so you go inside and then just bust open all the walls, open up the windows, like, you know,
break it in and crack it
yeah,
out.
break in and open it up.
Yeah.
I think this
That-
is the point of the song, and it's just that kind of story, I think.
that line,
Trapped in their mind and are stuck in the boundaries they have there and everything. And so when you kind of break inside of that and then start removing the boundaries of your mind, a lot of things open up. So it's like cracking yourself open,
Yeah.
breaking inside of yourself.
and speaking of that, the line that Olive sings, I took a hammer, started swinging at the locks inside. I went full throttle as I busted down the pride. I mean, just the lyrics in this thing. I think I quoted the whole song to the best of my
Really?
knowledge. And yeah, like you said, I probably made some mistakes here, but do you think I got the gist of it? And is it something that, like you say, you need to break in, see what's going wrong inside to be able to break out and to relate with other people? And
I would say this is definitely the point of the. I think when you listen to music, you can hear this, you can hear that. There are
Everybody
different,
interprets it in a different
the interpretation.
way.
So maybe I'm even telling you my interpretation when I got it, but in actuality, it's.
But I don't think we feel anything wrong with someone interpreting it how they would, even if it's different from what we thought when we were writing it, because
Yeah,
the core of it is still
like
the same.
it's true.
So-
Like I hear different things sometimes when I listen to it later or at different time. Like something that was important when I heard what the song, like the feeling, the message, even when I was writing it, it's this. But then all of a sudden, when you listen later, this small thing that you didn't even think was a big deal hits you in a good way, and you're like, "Whoa!" Well, maybe that's the point. You know what I mean? So anyway, just different moments.
all right, Cry Freedom is actually the second song. And this took me back to Peter Gabriel, some of his solo work. I don't know if you know who he is or some of his solo work. And that feeling that, and I think I related that in the review. You've almost grabbed history from all different perspectives, from here in the United States, the Underground Railroad, to what's going on in Europe, to really everywhere around the world.
Yeah.
We all cry for freedom, and
But it did originate from a specific place, but it absolutely fits for all the slaves of the world. Really. Originally, it came from we were watching a movie.
It's called Harriet.
Harriet.
It's about the railway train.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry.
Underground Railroad.
It was
It was like a lady who they called Moses, like that
a woman
was
called
her
Moses.
nickname, and she was a slave. And then when she broke free, she went back and helped a lot of slaves to become free.
To cross the border to Canada.
It was Harriet, right?
In Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this was the
inspiration
for the song. So it actually quite follows the story of that. But at the same time, Moses was from the old times.
And I don't know why I didn't say Moses, but yeah.
But she was called Moses as well.
It was her.
It was her nickname.
Well, yeah.
So it was her nickname. But the point is, it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
And really, a slave, I suppose, would be anyone who's under bondage. anywhere,
Mhm.
whether it's a technical slave or, you know,
Yeah. Physical slavery
yeah,
or not.
it's really this point.
Beautiful song, definitely, and very inspirational. Next up is Hey Adam. So tell us, I love it. You went back to the Garden of Eden, and if you want to talk about the cover and all that stuff, the album
Yeah.
cover, that when it first came out, that kind of blew me away. Not didn't get me angry or anything, but is like they're really going for it this time.
I mean, the thing is, we thought we had the choice. Essentially, we were choosing between calling the album "Cry Freedom" or "Hey Adam," but then we thought, why don't we just go? Because we're typically going for the more dramatic sort of songs, and because we like drama, I suppose, and films and things. But we thought, why not be more fun? You know, just like "Hey Adam," and then which then led to what the album cover was going to be. We kind of just got to it. Sebastian made the layout. Actually, did a great job. And yeah, so we kind of just went. And what's interesting is it looks like a teleporter. You know, the cover.
Like a bit like a portal.
A portal. So it's like if we could go back in time, do you think it would be different if the choice was mine? In essence, because we know the future and we know the past, then we have the chance of making the decision to change the story. It's the concept that, but you know, we don't actually have that chance, but we have a chance, for example, to change the story today.
Yeah,
you know, and imagine. Yeah, exactly. So, and it is fascinating if you think about going back in time and changing the concept. The same choices. And with knowing what we know now. So it's just very fascinating.
And it was also a little bit about nudity as well, like because we're naked on the front cover. It's like I suppose a lot of people these days, maybe, I don't know, you could say Christians or like this, for them it's a little bit like nudity is a bit of like like no, we don't go there, that's wrong, you know. But then when you look at how we were created, we were literally born naked, and the first people in the world were naked,
and then the original sin got them to cover up. So my question was like, why are the Christians having such a big, because we live in Europe, and in Europe it's a bit more liberal with the body and things like this. You know,
I think they just passed a law in one of those countries where in Germany, I think it is, where you can go nude now.
And in Zurich, everyone actually walks around naked completely.
So for us, sometimes it's a bit.
We're joking.
It's just like a little bit confusing why it's like such a big issue. Like the nudity point. Why is this like something that you shouldn't do? Whereas like, oh, you can promote like guns or whatever. That's fine, but no, you can't be naked.
Yeah, it's you know,
and so it like the song kind of breaks that open a little bit to take away that.
But I think it's more about the funniness of the concept that the big no is directly from the original sin.
Yeah.
So it's a bit funny that actually the no is the very point of what happened. So it was kind of a little play on this concept, but at the same time, I think like in our other album, Naked, the song Naked, it's kind of like really when it comes down to it, we are just humans who are literally naked because you are only you. It's not what you have, it's not the clothes you're wearing, it's just you, it's your soul, it's just everything like this. So you can do whatever you want, you can put like whatever you want on the outside, but it's
you can't cover it.
No, what you are is what you are on the inside and the soul of the story. So Naked song was a little bit of thinking about going into a club, for example, and then you have a bunch of young dudes who are really like super I'm the man, you know, whatever, and you're kind of like, yeah, but I'm seeing you
for who you really are,
so it's a bit kind of pokey but in a fun way, I think. So that Hey Adam was a little bit in this way playful, having a good time about the concept of like, okay, if the original sin actually created the clothes, why do the people who believe in like Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden have a problem with the nudity? Because that's where the purity was. Anyway,
Yeah, that's just a
It's-
little background.
it's a little
Yeah.
background. Yeah.
You know what I was gonna do, and I don't know if you'll feel comfortable doing it, but there's a couple lines in here, and I think you guys know which ones I'm talking about.
Couple what?
And I was a couple lines in the song, and I was gonna see if you'd be willing to act it out, to do if you want. No, I mean it's.
Oh, what
I'm just
lines?
kind of asking them; they're not prepared, and
I like act them out, like saying them to each other or something.
it's up to you. No, it's just.
What are the
When I
lines?
heard it on the song, I was like,
Oh, you mean to sing a piece of it right now?
if you want, if you want.
I understand.
No,
maybe,
I mean,
yeah.
I should have talked to you about it, and that's my fault. But everyone, wait till you hear this song. They do this real cute thing that is just absolutely.
When we're talking to each other, and then
Yeah.
it's like,
This
hey, Adam, do you want to have a bite?
Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
one. You know what I think I'm gonna pass. I like seeing you naked.
He just did it. There you go. They both did it. But yeah, it's just when you hear it, it's just unbelievable. In the middle of the song, you're just getting into the song, and then boom, and it was perfect.
It's
So-
just, I think we like to have the more as we go forward,
The more we go
more
forward.
we go forward, we like to just enjoy it a bit more.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
Oh, and you are, yeah, definitely. Well, this is definitely an album. If you haven't listened to these guys yet, definitely give them a chance with this one. City of Angels. It's not just about LA. It's a lot more, I'm sure. But tell us a little bit about where the inspiration for that came from.
Well, this song was one of our older songs, so it was probably written, I would say, like 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah, possibly. We're a little lost time.
Yeah, so 7, 6, 8. And before, when I was writing songs, I would really, in general, not have an idea of what I'm going to write about. Like it just comes.
Like when you sit down to write,
it just comes.
Yep.
But more recently, I've been like kind of focusing on a topic or a specific story or something before I start writing. But not always. Sometimes it just is an inspiration that just comes. So this one was one of those moments where I was just kind of with the guitar, and I think there was probably a couple of the people around from the band in the beginning stages of the band when we had 5 people. Basically just let it come out, and it was interestingly enough, did we had